Hi, well, as Pink Floyd song goes, is there anybody out there? This is Kalyan Karmakar. I thought I'll come live and speak to you guys. It's been a while since I've done a live over here, I must confess. I was doing a lot of lives at the beginning of the pandemic and the lockdown. Not so much now. I have moved more to a video broadcast format. So I now record and then sort of post the videos there. And there are a couple of reasons for that. One is I feel that compared to the beginning of the lockdown, people have got back to their daily routines and lives, and therefore they don't always have the time to catch a live as and when it's happening. And two is some of the things which I'm talking about and the interviews which I'm doing are meant to be more long term things, so not necessarily in the moment. And therefore, I felt that broadcasting it after recording it makes more sense. And I hope you've been catching these broadcasts or interviews which I've been doing. There are two particular streams which I've been focusing a lot on. One is Foodocracy for Her, where every week I interview a woman, entrepreneur, achiever in the food and beverage space, and over 1 hour, speak to her about her story, about her dreams, aspirations, achievements, and methods which have worked, and look for inspiration over there and share that with you. And the other, which I've been focusing a fair bit on, is what I call Foodocracy Kitchens, where I try to bring to you stories about food and culture and customs from different parts of the country. A lot of it is based on the food which one gets to taste from home chefs, especially in Mumbai. And the home chefs come from different communities of the country. And I've spoken about Oriya food, Kashmiri food, and Keralite food, and whatnot. In fact, the two most recent broadcasts which I did in Foodocracy Kitchens was yesterday, where there was food, Maharashtrian food sent by Gautam Welkar. We'd ordered from here, Welkar's Kitchen. And this is Maharashtrian food from four different communities. So there was the spicy Sauji mutton from Vidarbh. Then there was a Kolhapuri pulao from the west of Maharashtra. There was the CKP or the Chandrasenia Kayas Prabhu, and there was a Hirwa prawn, which is a green curry. And then there was a prawn kharkharle, which I made a mess of when pronouncing yesterday, from the Pathare Prabhu community of Mumbai, which Gautam belongs to. So I spoke about that in Foodocracy Kitchens, and about the food from different parts of Maharashtra, and which was a segue to the fact that how there's food which varies so much across India, and which is what the beauty of unity and diversity is all about, which is what Republic Day is all about. So that's my latest Foodocracy Kitchens broadcast. And my latest Foodocracy for Her broadcast. So you'll find all of these on IGTV, on my YouTube channel, Findy Shop TV by Kalyan Karmakar, Facebook, Kalyan Karmakar. Sunisha saying, hello chef, how are you? I'm not a chef, I'm afraid, but I'm very fine. Anshumanchu saying, hi Dadabhai, hi to you too, bhai. And the other one on Foodocracy for Her was where, oh my god, Maruk Mogrelia, you're going to live 100 years. Because I was just going to say that the other one on Foodocracy for Her was with Maruk Mogrelia, who runs Maruk's Kitchen, when she joined in right now and waved. So she's going to live 100 years, which is less for Parsis in any case. But jokes apart, I mean, wish her all the best. And I spoke about the Parsi food and Parsi culture with Maruk, as well as her own story of Navsari to Mumbai. So that's what I spoke about. Now, Pratiksha Sutar is saying, would you have anything for a foodie like me in Pune? Well, not recently, but I went to Pune a couple of years back, and stayed for a couple of days and explored the area around Koregaon Park. Then went on a walk with Jayesh Paranjape to the camp area. So I've written about that. Then I went back a year later, wrote about the Irani cafes there and stuff. So Pratiksha, you'll find it on my blog, as well as some of it in my IGTV and YouTube videos, including Garden Cafe. My friend Divyanshu is asking whether there's a Diwars glass. Well, it's a cut glass given by a very dear family friend, Jamshed uncle. He's no more now, but these glasses are there as memories of us. Malvik Kulas is saying, look up cornucopia in Pune. In Pune, cornucopia is interestingly also the name of the festival of the IHM Dadar, Indian Hospitality Management Dadar, where I'd once given a talk. Okay, so yeah, and Instagram is saying, I cover Sri Krishna Bhuvan beautifully. That's in Pune, and I went there thanks to Jayesh Paranjape's recommendation. I went there with my friend Nitin, and they do misal where they put poha, and very nice stuff at Sri Krishna Bhuvan. So today I wanted to speak to you about something called the imposter syndrome. I've been thinking about this for quite some time, and I had a couple of conversations in the last few days, including one this morning, which made me want to talk about it. Nidhi wants the veg macaroon recipe. Well, I can tell you where to get good macaroons, which is La 15 Patisserie, but I don't know the recipe of either vegetarian macaroons or non-vegetarian ones. Uh, yes. So Pratiksha is saying I would love to someday taste fusion food or my special prawns or Konkan fish curry I make. I would love to taste that. Thank you so much. Okay, so now coming back to what I wanted to speak to, and I'm going to look at your comments later. It's about the imposter syndrome. Have you guys heard about it? I heard about the concept first when friend of mine from Bangalore, Monica Manchanda, fellow content creator and restaurant consultant, is what she also does. She wrote about the imposter syndrome, and then I realized that imposter syndrome basically means that it's a very inward driven thing where you start questioning yourself that whether what you're doing is really worth something. And I was googling it today, and it said that's a sign of two things: either of a person being a perfectionist and feeling that whatever they're doing is not good enough in their point of view, and the other is also it's a function of what's happening around oneself and the environment. And in my blog post, which I wrote about a week back, and I've started sharing this on Medium as well, I did sort of make an reference to the imposter syndrome, which one has been feeling oneself, and explain why I try to take a bit of a social media break or a break from content creation and writing during the Christmas week. And interestingly, a very young friend of mine who's in college, she said that she related to that, and I've sort of realized that I am not the only one. This morning I spoke to someone, and a couple of days someone else. Both of these people are more senior to me, definitely more accomplished in the context of both journalism as well as food writing. And yet, when I was speaking to them, one in the context of a story the person was writing, the others also someone I regard now as a friend, and the person wanted some advice from me on a project. And in both cases, I realized that they were telling me that they felt that what I was doing was worth a lot more than what they were doing, and they were questioning what they were doing, and stuff like that. And I had to tell them, and with absolute sincerity, yeah, with no for humility or anything like that, but with absolute sincerity, I had to explain to both of them that what they were doing in separate conversations was actually worth a lot, and is something which has a lot of impact, and is something which we really look up to. So, and I said this with complete sincerity, and I explained to them why. So it's not that I was just being compassionate, or, like I said, for humility or anything like that. And that's when I realized that there are people out there whom we look up to, and we feel that uh, either their lives are perfect, or what they've achieved is really like Olympic level, or what they're doing is stuff which is way better than we can think of. But actually, I've realized that even they have so many self doubts. So I'm sure that some of you might be looking at what I post and feel that, oh, I wish we could live this life, or I wish we got this sort of food, or I wish I could lead a life where I wake up and have breakfast at 11:30. But there are things over there, and this is not really where I'm trying to sort of get your attention, or sympathy or something like that. But it's just something which made me realize that it's probably something which a lot of people are feeling today, this imposter syndrome, questioning oneself that whether one is doing enough, achieved enough, whether questioning one's place in the larger scheme of things. And there are two reasons I feel why it's particularly happening now. One is that we are into the probably the 10th or 11th month of the pandemic, at least in India. In some places, it had started even before that. And this has been a very solitary time. I mean, some of us, like, I've been lucky to be not alone, but with my wife and our two kittens and stuff like that. And she's extremely encouraging for me at work, and we discuss stuff, and I bounce off things off her, and she's always very encouraging. But and a lot of us don't even have that fall back on, where we are either alone or we are with people whom we can't confide in or who don't understand what we are doing. So that's really a terrible place to be in. But also the sheer nature of what the pandemic has been, and the social distancing and isolation and on all of that, meant that one has been physically cut off from people, from friends, from peers, from colleagues, whether at work, whether one's a freelancer or at a corporate place. I mean, there's certain things which a Zoom or a WhatsApp message or a Zoom call just don't cut ice, versus when you're sitting in front of someone and talking and understanding each other's body languages and the hesitation and the doubt, and being there for each other, getting sort of solids and warmth. I mean, there is something which the human the touch or contact counts for, and the fact is that the pandemic has stripped us of that. Having said that, it's not something which we've consciously chosen or brought about it, or it's something unique to only us. So if this is the reality, we have to see how to live with it. But one of the things is that not being in touch with people means that one is, you don't really know what's happening. Sometimes you're sort of depending entirely on the basis of what one is seeing on social media, and we all know that that is not always the true picture or the complete picture. It can never be. And the other is that one doesn't even have a chance to sort of talk, doubt. You don't know what others are going through, and all of that, and that puts in a lot of pressure. Then there's a real pressure of work not happening, sometimes salary cuts, job losses, no new commissionings, or commissionings far and wide, or people wanting work for free or bargaining and all of that. And these are all realities of our time. But the fact is that all of this does weigh on us. And the other is like it's said that the external circumstance. So when you open social media, and when you see so and so is doing this, so and so is being this, so one's eaten this, so one's bought that, and achieved this, or got this medal, got this thing, got this project, and we are all out there, we are all responsible for it, we are all shouting about different aspects of our life, about the people in our lives, the food which we're eating, the house where we are living in, or the things we've achieved, the project which one is doing, the work which one is doing, and stuff. And when you see all of that out there, it's very, very overwhelming. And the thing is that if you were actually out there, then you would have realized that maybe a lot of it which is out there is not as monumental as it's made out to be. But if you're sitting in one corner and seeing it all, it does accumulate, it does weigh upon oneself. And like I said, I mean, these two people whom I spoke to, who are more senior to me, more accomplished than me, and are definitely, and I'm saying this very objectively, that they're doing work which has a lot of further ramification than what I'm doing. They were sort of doubting themselves, looking at what I was doing. And I had to tell them that no. And the fact is that I feel the same when I see, people getting so many followers, or someone doing brand associations, or people starting off new projects, or new writing assignments or columns, or someone getting new assignments, and it sort of weighs in. And some of this, if you dissect, you will see that it's not really that big a thing. But fair enough. I mean, every achievement has to be lauded, and people are doing all of that, but you can't let that get to you. You just can't let that get to you, because this is what I try to do. One is, I try to take a step back and see realistically what where one is in so from a professional context in terms of work. So what is the sort of equity which one has? What is the properties one has built? What is one doing right now? And all of this comes down to one thing, one word, which is purpose. And I often tell this when I for my clients or entrepreneurs or home chefs who come to my consultancies for consultations. I always tell them that define your purpose. why are you in it? So I would so I do that for myself as well. I try to define myself, that why am I in it, why am I talking about food, why am I creating content about food. I mean, yes, I mean, yeah, eventually one would want to sort of make a living out of it and all that, but also, I mean, what is there beyond it? Why is one writing? Why is one creating content? Why does one want to be in the area of food? Why does one want to be a home chef? Why does one want to open a bakery? And I think that, if we can define that question, and the answer to that, then at all these moments where one is having self doubt about what one is doing, or the insignificance of that, apparent or real in the context of what others are doing, then if we go back to that sense of purpose, or the question of purpose, or defining our mission statement, as companies do, I think that we'll do it wonderfully. And there's my friend Tara Deshpande. She's saying that purpose is so important. And I spoke with her on Foodocracy for her a couple of weeks back, and she's one person who during the lockdown has been creating content and this that. And you always know that if you go to Tara's channels, there'll be her smiling face, there'll be her warm words, and there'll be some interesting information which she's giving, whether it's on food, or I remember once when she did a lovely freewheeling chat with Usha Uthap, you know. So these are a few things which I've done. It's work in progress. So it's not that I don't succumb to the imposter syndrome, but one is that purpose, and I've sort of defined that what I'm trying to do at this point, and I don't want to, like, okay, why not? So what I'm trying to do at this point is, through my content, give a little element of hope, a little element of joy to someone who comes in connection with it. So whether it's the columns I write, whether it's the blog posts I write, whether it's the live which I'm doing right now, or the Foodocracy for Her, Foodocracy Kitchens series, or something, a demo from the Finely Chopped Kitchen where I might be shooting while I'm cooking, or sharing about a home chef's story, or maybe some good food which a restaurant has sent, or whatever like that. If it gives a bit of hope and a bit of joy to you when you've sort of come across that, then I feel that my job is done. Yes, I want to convert these properties into revenue making ones, Foodocracy for Her, Foodocracy Kitchens. I want Finely Chopped to be like a broadcast platform which sort of becomes profitable, and probably gives a platform to many others who have great stories to say in food in various formats, but they don't know how to do it. So I probably want to create a platform where people can do it, and do it, and live a life well. And thing is that I don't know how to do it. I honestly don't know how to do it. Maybe that's why advertising has creative teams, and account management and servicing teams working together, business management. So maybe I need that, or maybe I will crack that in some point. But I know what I want to do. The other thing which I've started doing now is switching off. So I was attending this online yoga course for back pain from the Sivananda Institute, and the teacher over there. Thanks so much. Books, Food and More, Sejal. A teacher over there who was saying that we need to slow down, do less, and which is the antithesis of what we keep hearing, that do more. What are you doing? You aren't doing enough. And suddenly there was a person saying that do less, introspect. You're a fish, so you don't need to climb a tree. You need to swim well. And that's when I realized that, nowadays slow living is becoming a term. But there are times which one needs to, like, even before I got into this life, I did a short 8 minute shavasana, because I just feel that it freshens my mind. For the last 3 or 4 nights, I've been sleeping very late, at 4:30, 3:30 in the morning, largely because of back pain and stuff like that. But today's been a good day. So before you rush to tell me do yoga or acupressure or acupuncture, though I cherish the fact that you people rush in with your solutions. But it's important to, I think, switch on, and also to be very clear about where one stands. So the fact is that I am not able to. There are times when I switch on my phone, and go to Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, the three main platforms I go to, and I'm just scrolling and I'm just scrolling, I'm just scrolling, and it's like often it's like useless content or nothing relevant to me, not even leaving an impression, but I'm just scrolling, I'm just scrolling, I'm just scrolling. And I could have done so many things at that time. I could have fed the cats, I could have changed some password which needs to be changed, I could have done something around the house, I could have chatted with Kainaz or ordered something for her, but I'm just scrolling, I'm just scrolling. I could have just done nothing. So and I've realized that right now it's a slightly chronic issue, if it's okay to use that word, because nowadays one has to be particular, like, so that the words are used properly. But what I've started doing is that there are times when I just switch off social media apps on my phone. Like I started doing that after the yoga class on Sundays. So Sundays are also when I do my foodocracy for her broadcast. So I would come in for a short bit in the evening and post that video. So it takes about an hour uploading and typing and stuff like that. Or I might, if there's something interesting in lunch, I might share a story of that, or at night. So it's not like Vipassana where one's doing it like 100% of the time or whatever. But there are times when I just withdraw, I just distract, I switch off, because that's the only way. Otherwise, net to net, I think you need to very impartially sort of observe and assess who you are as a person, and then take steps very objectively in terms of what you think will make an impact. So I'm going to sign off now, because hopefully lunch is ready. Vanu's come to work. She's making some began bharta or begun pora, and there's the lovely prawn kharkharle. If you see my video yesterday in Foodocracy for Kitchens, I made a miss of it when I pronounced it in the beginning. Kainaz had a good laugh. It has a potential of going viral, so I'm going to keep it there. In which case, I might not have my normal 50 viewers, but hopefully 500 or 5,000 if it goes viral. But it's not kharkharle, it's prawn kharkharle. It's a patare prabhu dish. I'm going to have that, bit of rice and the bagan, and there's sauja mutton is left, so I'm going to have that with roti and green moong tadka at night. So thanks for listening, thanks for joining in. And if you're feeling the imposter syndrome, if you're feeling inadequate, let me just tell you that you're not the only one. A lot of people across the world are feeling this, and that much more in a time of pandemic. I'm feeling this. People who are far more worthy than me, and I'm saying this in a very objective way, are feeling this. Thanks, Sunisha. Glad you like this. And let me tell you that it's not right. You are very, very worthy. You're not an imposter. And I'm telling myself also I'm not an imposter. And so a couple of things which has worked for me, and which I'd suggest for you from a practical point of view, if you've listened and so on, is that one is, I think, like even Tara was agreeing, that draw out your purpose. So whatever you're doing right now, whether it's professionally or even for your own health or your life or finances or within your own family. Thanks, Shashali. Good to see you joining in. Hope to catch you soon. Just draw out your purpose. That, for example, if you're spending time with your parents, looking after them, or if you're by yourself, or if there's something you're trying to achieve in your office or in your profession, or if there's a health goal you have, or anything like that, of just draw out your purpose, that why am I doing this? And then every time you ask yourself, am I good enough, just compare it with that purpose, and maybe it might make sense. And the other thing is, so that might address the perfectionism bit, but the other part is that of the environmental pressure, and the longer we are going to stay in and only in the company of social media, the more that's going to snowball. For that, just switch off. If like me, if you're not disciplined enough to sometimes keep your devices away, then switch off. If you need to, then delete the app on your phone. The app is there somewhere, don't worry, your account is there. Or if you're okay doing what I do, which is logging out of the phone and then logging in for a bit, do that. It's fine. And remember, for me, being on social media is a sort of professional requisite. But even then, people who work in offices are not working 24 hours, right? So you don't need to as a freelancer. So that's it. Thanks so much for joining. And I hope you found this useful. I'm going to save it and put it on my IGTV, maybe my YouTube channel also. And thanks for joining. And do keep watching my other series, Foodocracy for Her. In fact, two of the participants or interviewees were watching at various points today. Tara Deshpande and Maruk Mogrelia also watch Foodocracy Kitchens. And thanks Anaya Batul, Didi, BC. I hope that means something nice. Okay, this is Kalyan Karmakar signing off. I'm hungry, and I think if things have gone by schedule, lunch should be ready or soon enough. If you want to see a picture of my lunch, you can hang on later and see it on IG Live. Okay, thanks. Bye. Now, let me figure out how to say it. Yes, end this thing.